Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another video on Marvel Strike Force, and it looks like the Envoys have broke the news that Purple ISO 4 and 5 and Blue Marvel is officially coming to Marvel Strike Force. Now, obviously, we knew that if you watched my video from the other day, but now they've had more official clarification about this. There will be a official blog later on today. We have a few screenshots to basically just tell you the most important stuff to know about this. And we can also talk about which characters that I'm thinking about right now, although obviously they're, you don't need to do anything just now, but think about this in the back of your mind as far as who you might want to upgrade in the near future. So if you're ready to go, everybody, let's boil this down. All right, and it looks like Scopely gave the exclusive information here to Valley Flying, so he has the table, or well, the tables and the information here. You can see on the charts that they're going to be a mixture of Purple ISO 4 and 5, so not just 5. Now, it's my understanding that there is going to be a different currency for 4 and 5. I'll be honest, I didn't watch the video. I had this pasted into my Discord server by some followers, so we're using this. But in the code there is actual different currency for 4 and 5, so I assume that. Also, they talked about how this is going to be basically via a leaderboard, but we're going to talk about this first. So the first node has no restrictions, but it does require 5 Purple ISO 4 characters, and then we're going into Conquerors with a mixture of 4 and 5. So honestly, it's worth noting that because of the Conquerors tag, that some of the characters down below here should also represent some Conquerors, right? You're not going to just, otherwise it'd be a waste. You need to double dip here, right? Do Conquerors with Cosmic City or Global, and we'll talk about that. And node number 10 has no trait restrictions, which concerns me a little bit because it makes me wonder whether or not that they're going to just stack that node with, I don't know, a bunch of Mephistos, Odins, Super Skrulls, etc., that basically force you to add Xavier or Odin or Mephisto or whoever, right? On top of the other traits, because the nodes are literally that bad that it would take you a million years if you didn't do it. So we'll find out when the actual nodes become available. Also, another thing that I'm curious about is whether or not the game modes are active, right? Right. So when we did the Xavier saga, this was it was not told to us. We were recommended characters for the Xavier saga. There was actually a list of characters that they recommended. And it so happened that those characters had their game mode buffs activated for like Liberty for War in the Global Hero section. That was activated for War. And then the Cosmic Hero section had Crucible activated because Lilandra was able to get her buffs in there, and I can't remember if there was any other ones like that. But my point is that was never told to us, and so it wasn't until you actually looked into the data mines that we would find out why that was or exactly what that was. So interesting to note here. We're going to touch on this in a minute here. Now, this is the description here, where they say the first level 4 and 5 Purple ISO opportunities. So leaderboards and special events. I mean, we knew this, right? Like let's be honest. If you've been playing this game for a while, you can predict where this stuff is going to come from. To deliver the brand new Purple ISO 8 into your hands, your first opportunity to earn this will be level 4 ions in the Superior ISO Evolution leaderboard. Now, this is very likely the Superior Spider-Man Diamond leaderboard. This was also talked about in the data mines for Blue Marvel as well. Mentioned this. A level 5 Purple Ions will be featured in a future event. So event or leaderboard event, right? They're gonna monetize this the same way that Odin was basically a giant cash grab last year. It seems like they're doing basically the same thing again now to pad their quarterly revenue at the end of the year. That being said, this is less characters or overall less characters than what Odin was, because even Odin still required 25 characters, I think, and now this one's basically dragged down to 15, as long as you're double dipping Conquerors, of course, in the Cosmic City Global sections. And assuming that we don't need to add any extra characters in node number 10, we'll have to wait and find out about that one. Now, as far as the buffs go for the ISOs, it's pretty typical, right? There's a little bit of stat. Most of them have pretty generic stats for level 4. Level 5 will just do a little bit more of what the other ones did. So for Striker and stuff like that, it's going to do more damage. For Raiders, it's going to add more crit chance and more crit damage. So again, the same things. What I am curious most about is the impactfulness of each of these, and what it really seems like we're not really deviating. These extra additions of purple ISO have not really created any deviation from what people are normally doing, right? How often are people using the healer ISO? Even when they added the new additions to the stuff in the purple ISO, I didn't see any people using healer ISO more than they were before, which was very little, to be honest. Like even support characters were becoming non-healer ISO characters. So I think that was interesting the most. Now, oh, I do have Daredevil Modern actually as a. Well, we'll talk about him. He's like one of my only characters that. Why am I running him as a? I think this was for like an event, and then I forgot to change it. I think I had him on Protector. I thought, right? But that's what I mean. Like between these are the ISOs that were kind of always left behind. Healer and Fortifier. No, actually, I don't even have Fortifier upgrade, so he was always a healer. Anyways, that's what I mean. It's like these two ISOs I feel like have always been left behind in Marvel Strike Force, and no matter what kind of upgrades that they had, really made that much of a difference. So we'll see if that ends up doing that or not. Let's talk about let's just talk about Conquerors just to start. Right, I did this a little bit in the last video, but I think there's two things that I want to talk about in terms of double dipping here. I think the best idea, in my opinion, would be a combination of the following: would be characters that are potentially raid characters. So why? Because eventually it's going to require Purple ISO 4 and 5 to do the next raid. I don't know if that's going to be the Omega raid, if they're making changes to the Annihilation raid Omega. I don't know if that, probably not. It's probably too early for that. But the next raid, which could very well be in 6 to 8 months time, because they've been actually flipping them fairly quickly, that could require, or most likely will require Purple ISO 4 at the very least. So inevitably, you're going to have to add this to your character. So I guess for that, from the Conqueror section, that would be your Insidious 6 and your Hellfire Club, right? Now let's just, and some other characters, right? Probably Vigilantes, would they make the cut? I think they might still, but let's talk about that, right? Because you have basically two options, I think, for City. You have the Insidious 6, who are obviously the newest team coming out right now, and you have your Vigilantes. That being said, most people don't like adding not G20 to my Electra, and I probably still won't. So in general, like, where are other characters that you could maybe slide in for Electra, or maybe some people are okay with G20ing Punisher. He's not that expensive as well. Why am I saying G20? Just because his stats would be better for running this for Blue Marvel. But some alternatives to that, I suppose, would be going back to like Blade and Oath, that kind of thing, just like we did for the Xavier Saga. But I would say the Insidious 6 as a whole could also be run. They might be lower stars because by the time Blue Marvel comes out, these guys might not be farmable, right? You might be able to get them pretty high stars though from the Antimatter store if that's what you're doing. And I'm currently buying Scorpion Shards from the Antimatter store anyways. But I mean, it's hard to say whether or not we're going to have them at 7 yellow by the time we access this section for Blue Marvel. It may not be necessary, but we might want to have them as high powered as possible going into it so that it's as easy as it can be, right? So you have that option, I guess, between Insidious 6 or Vigilantes. Again, both following that double dipping, and at least for some people, right, the Vigilantes might represent characters that you already used for the Xavier Saga, so therefore they're already G20 and they're already pretty strong. So that's the other option there. As far as what's the sections again? Where do we jump? I think we went from. Oh no, it starts with Cosmic. Okay, so I was going in the wrong order, anyways. But let's just jump over to Cosmic. So because it's non-mythic, and that's pretty important as well, right? I think this pretty much leaves you with the Fantastic Four main characters, and you could run an Azazel, but the problem is that he's standalone, right? He doesn't have his Hellfire Club team, who are all global other than him. But I think at this point, we are going to have Blastar available to us in the Red Stars, right? That's going to, by that time, of course, and we'll probably have like a 7 yellow Blastar, frankly, by that point. And then, of course, there's Quasar. Where's Quasar? Down here. So a lot of people did take Quasar to Gear Tier 20 anyways for the Xavier Saga, or if you haven't already, I mean, this is a good idea, I think. And so this would be a very good character. He's legendary, but non-mythic, so available in that section as well. So I'm basically thinking about, you could actually, you know what, I forgot, non-mythic, so you could use Null. And we might have to see who's on the nodes, right? Maybe Quasar Null and the Fantastic Four. Maybe there's a Mephisto, so maybe we'll need to have Null. Those are some of the considerations and most likely options at this point, right? Again, Conqueror's double dipping. This makes a lot of sense for the Fantastic Four. You know, I've been buying their shards since they were available. I am post Xavier, of course, but I think it's a good idea because they're the arena meta. And so they will most likely be farmable, though, within the next... Are they the next team up, actually? Accursed is becoming farmable. Are they after Accursed? You know, honestly, I'm losing track of time. But they should be a bit more available pretty soon anyways, and most likely by the time that people are starting to get into this as well. So that's kind of what I'm thinking there for the Cosmic section. And then, of course, for Global, I already mentioned this. But the Hellfire Club, the main 4 members, again, because of the double dipping for the raids, that's why I think they make the most sense to me. Now, of course, Azazel is not available. So we need to choose another character. And I guess this might depend on if there's any special game modes active in this section. There's a couple of options. Honestly, Songbird is a... While she sucked big time in the Xavier saga because of that Shadow King boss, she is a very good character in general. She does have the AoE trauma for 2 turns, which I realize if this character has 4 more Thunderbolts, I'm like, no, okay, never mind. I thought it was... Is it... No? Okay, never mind. Why did I... Oh, yeah, no, why did I think that was... outside the team? Never mind. You know what? She's still okay, but I thought that trauma for some reason was actually available without her full team. There's quite a few characters though, right? There's obviously quite a few additional character options. I would take somebody who you do have a gear tier 20 though to fill in for the Hellfire Club. Is there any X-Men character? I mean, yeah, they're right. So Emma Frost X-Men might have a little bit of crossover there with as much as she's losing her value in that Astral team, because I'm not sure if we're going to be using this or not for Battle World. Emma Frost X-Men, though, with Rachel Summers, right? Because she does have the X-Men tag, so there might be a little bit of crossover synergy there as well. We can't use Xavier, right? There could be some other characters, but you want to make sure that it's going to be someone that you're using at Gear Tier 20. And how funny would that be to run Emma Frost OG with Emma Frost X-Men? Hey, there's also Old Man Logan, right? We could bring him up to Gear Tier 20 just for the stats, right? Because he's an old era character, so he probably needs the Gear 20 to do the stats. I haven't done this yet myself. Let me know in the comments down below if you have Loganed, G20 Logan, and how that's going for you. That is a possible option as well, just because he is so over. He's pretty OP. He's still pretty OP. Like in a PvE sense, he's with how much he does. Like he's pretty OP. He's also X-Men too. So does he have any? Does he have any buffs for X-Men? No, not really. I thought he did. He just gets buffed by other X-Men. But anyway, some interesting choices anyways, right? Can't use Mythics, but Old Man Logan definitely still a powerful option there. So those are the sections. I mean, I guess we'll find out when we get the map, when we get the actual character. There you go. The exclusive for Valley Flying of Blue Marvel Rising. Go check it out if you want. Otherwise, you know, I just gave you all the information that you really need to know about this anyways. Oh, hey, we lost Alliance Ward. That sucks. Sorry, guys. Okay, that's going to be it for now. Let me know what you think about the Blue Marvel thing, the Dark Dimension 9, and how we're going to go about doing this. And if you have any thoughts about the character choices. That's it for now, everyone, and I'll see you guys all on the next video. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and you'll be greatly helping out the channel. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.